All right, we are here. The final race of the round of 12 has officially gotten underway when it comes to practice and qualifying. The race still yet to go, but of course we join you from the virtual Talladega Superspeedway, Talladega, Alabama, here on iRacing as we get you ready for the final race of the round of 12 at the world's biggest superspeedway that actually exists. I have to throw that in there because there's iRacing Superspeedway now. But anyways, Talladega, Alabama, 2.66 mile track. It'll decide who goes to the round of 6 and who does not after 72 laps this evening in the Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series, part of Sim 500. 79 degrees as always. It is the track or the default temperatures in iRacing as what you see in the series. But of course that doesn't really affect, I guess, what the track temp's going to be. It could be cooler, could be not, depending on the clouds and stuff. But I will say the track temp is very hot, almost 130 degrees right now. But I am the captain. We welcome you in to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway as we get you ready to go racing, as we only have 4 races left on the season. And tonight, the 12 goes to 6. And when I say that, I mean we have a tight battle on our hands for the points, and what a track to go to, because it's going to come down to the old nitty-gritty, as they say, as we look at the points right now going into tonight. Pedro Mojica, unless something major happens, he is in to the final 6 drivers. Josh Adams looking pretty good. However, look from Josh Adams down to Anthony Calantoni. There is only 26 points separating there. However, even closer from 7th up to 2nd. We only have a 13-point difference. Of course, with the bonus points of halfway and so on and so forth, we've got a battle on our hands. Tommy Ryan, Eric Arnold, not looking so good right now, but you never know what can happen here at Talladega. Richard Beasley's on the cusp, and of course, Mike Kelly and Calantoni, those guys are still eligible. So, by points, all 12 could technically get to the 6 when it's all over with. But, yeah, obviously, we look at it realistically here. We're looking at roughly probably 6 drivers going for 5 spots when it is all said and done. So it's going to be a tight battle, though, when it's all said and done here this evening. And, of course, we all have that battle for the Ford Entertainment Group prize, which is that Fanatec CSL Direct Drive wheel, which goes to the driver that completes the most laps this season. Josh Adams, for about the 100 straight week, has a 2-lap lead over Chad Coleman. Chuck Woods there is about 13 laps behind Chuck Sweeting. Also there in Pedro Mojica, about 104 laps behind. So there's still that battle going on right now. But Josh Adams, if he can find a way to get through Talladega and finish on the lead lap the rest of the way, he is in the driver's seat to win that Ford Entertainment Group Direct Drive wheel. Of course, made by Fanatec. It is a pretty cool wheel there that will go to the driver that completes the most laps. Qualifying is going on right now. We're just about to wrap it up, and a couple of familiar names that seem like up there at the top every single super speedway race, and I'm not surprised by that. And I think That's going to be a sign of what we could see here throughout tonight. As I'm looking at it here, 34 cars are on the grid. So let that be the separator when it comes to points here this evening. 34 positions. So let's show the points again. That means by taking out the bonus points, you literally could have Pedro Mojica, if he wrecks out like he did at Daytona. He was in the first caution and was out of the race. If that happens tonight, there's a chance that the guy who has absolutely dominated the latter half of this season could end up out of this final 6 drivers. So we shall see how this all works out here this evening. So again, a lot of things potentially could happen, and you just never know. So we're going to keep an eye on the points throughout here. So don't mind me, I've got some audio distracting me here. So practice is wrapping up here, the warm-up that they usually do. Going to reconnect my wheel, because using my wheel button, I can hit the mute the chat in hand so I don't get distracted. But here I am being easily distracted. What do you know? Squirrel. Starting lineup. Let's take a look at it for this race here in Talladega. I've got new viewers probably tonight like, what the heck is this guy doing? Don't worry, I'm used to it. As we take a look at the lineup here from Talladega, that's not the lineup, Scala. I said the lineup. Edgar don't want to cooperate with me either. It's going to be one of them nights. I think I know why. Stand by while I reset the telemetry real quickly, as I am a one-man show here on the Captain Esports Network, and sometimes things just don't cooperate. Of course, they're going over the rules right now for the races. As everybody grids, and Tyler Dalton, I can tell you, is on the pole. But for some reason, the grid does not want to appear for me right now. That's kind of disappointing to see. So we're going to do it the old school way, I guess. Tyler Dalton on the pole alongside is going to be Jose Gonzalez there in the 26 car. Of course, you got Tommy Ryan and Bob Gillenwater. They will be on row number 2. I'm very disappointed if this is not working for me here. Hey, wait a minute. Do I have something? All right, let's just use the tower up here on the screen if I can get that to work for me. All right, nothing's working for me telemetry-wise right now. So stand by, and we'll I'm going to keep working on it. We'll get it reset here, and good to go, hopefully, here in a second. Apologies for the inconvenience. All right, so this lineup's going to be over on the left side of the screen here. As it'll scroll through, you see Tommy Ryan, Mike Kelly, Jeff Ryan, Randy Yoakum, Pedro Mojica, E.G. O'Rourke, Chad Coleman. That's going to be your 10 drivers for the top 10 as we continue throughout the field there. As you see, Tom Dreiling will start next to Josh Adams in row 6. Joey Jatina, Andrew Teff there in row 7. Row 8, John Higman Jr. and Ed Burrell. Anthony Calantoni will start next to Garrett Austin there, row 9. Jimmy Coleman, Ron Holyfield, your top 20. Comstock and Daniel Falkingham, last week's winner, will start 22nd. Richard Beasley, Kevin Brown, 23rd and 24th. Doy Woods, Chuck Sweeting, Eric Arnold, Josh Parker, Charles Woods, John Mustin Jr., Kevin England, Doug Sigmund, and Gerald Livingston. 33 drivers who have gridded. Brian Wortman is going to start on pit road, it appears, as they come off of turn number 4 and towards the tri-oval. I hope this is not a sign of what's going to happen tonight. Things not working for me here. Either way, one thing that will happen tonight is we're going to go racing. $72 laps, 36 is a halfway point. That'll give away some bonus points, and that could really play a role in what happens and who makes it to the final round of 6 for the championship in the FEG Xfinity Series. Green from Talladega. And of course, our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out on Facebook. They're also over in the iRacing forums. And more importantly, their website is TrackCams22.com. The closest thing you will see to real-life cameras in iRacing. When I mean real life, I mean what you see on TV is what you see here on the Captain Esports Network. As the cars go rolling through turn 3 and 4 for the first time. Dalton and Gonzalez, just like they've started the race. Gillenwater, Tommy Ryan, topside. And across the line, it will be Dalton, barely leading. And I think this is an opportunity for me to say thoughts and prayers to the family of Todd Kirkwood. You might notice the hood on Tyler Dalton's car. And if I don't get a chance to say this tonight, back a couple years ago, I was on the team that broadcasted for Todd and in the Premier Racing League is what the league was known as at that time. And when I was broadcasting with the broadcast company, Todd was a part of that league as an owner. He owned like some of the teams and stuff and sponsored some of the cars. And Tyler got to know Todd very well. And Todd passed away this past week. So I want to take a minute here real quickly and just give a thoughts and prayers to that Dalton, or not to Dalton, but to Dalton and the family of Todd Kirkwood. So it's hard for me to even say because it's kind of a tough situation here with that whole family and deal. So thoughts and prayers to Todd and the family of Todd Kirkwood, and also to Tyler and all friends and all the iRacing friends of Todd. He will be missed, and appreciate his contributions to what he did in this sim. So obviously I know Joey and the guys from the league, Sim 500, put a post out there to him and things also, but definitely want to share our thoughts here from Captain Esports Network to the family of Todd Kirkwood. Is Daniel Falkingham. What if I told you he started 21st and he's already to the front of this field in 2 laps? Takes the top side and is going to take the lead from EJ O'Rourke. EJ started 9th position here, so already seeing some comers and goers going to the front in this race. And you would find it hard to believe that I actually went to school for broadcasting, and I can't even talk right now, it seems like. But GSRC was that company that I did the broadcasting for. For some reason, I'm not thinking clear right now. I'm working on it. Let me get through this race a little bit here. We'll be good to go. But O'Rourke, Falkingham, Gonzalez, Mojica, Tommy Ryan, your top 5 as they're 3 wide all the way back. You see Eric Arnold topside there with John Muschin Jr. Also, the 81 is up there of Josh Parker. Mr. I Want to Start in the back has worked his way halfway up here through the field already. And across the stripe this time by, it is Daniel Falkingham leading. As I mentioned, he actually started 22nd. Let me give him the actual credit he deserves, and has worked his way to the front after only 2 laps. And here he is leading on lap 5 and 3 wide. Mike Kelly just kind of hanging out there. But as I mentioned, some of these drivers in this pack right now are in the playoffs. Did you see O'Rourke get a little sideways? That's what we don't need, is an early wreck taking out drivers going for playoff wins here. Or going for the spot in the round of 6. Kevin DeBrown has made his appearance back in the series after a couple weeks off. As we ride with Kevin here up the middle. Look at EJ make that move to the bottom. Some aggressive maneuvers already early in this race. If I'm a playoff driver, I am nowhere near this pack right now. Now, don't get me wrong. These guys mostly run in a SuperSpeedway series that runs on Tuesday nights. Of course, we hosted one on Sunday nights on the Captain Esports Network during the off season. So A lot of these guys are used to racing around each other like this, but still, one mistake by somebody, and somebody's playoff hopes are done. Like right there, look at 39 on the 93 getting loose in the middle there. Oh, Kevin, hold on. He just got turned all kinds of sideways and saved it. That was a glove save and a beauty by the 93. I'm not one that criticizes, but holy cow, they're being aggressive early. See if we can find that save real quick. It was right here off turn 2. Hey, a Twitch viewer. Nice. Appreciate you watching, sir. Watch him going into turn 1 here. We'll do it the old school way. He's getting pushed by Parker there, the 81. And right here, he's going to... Oh, man! You do not bump a car going into the corner. Don't do it. Oh, now they had a minute to calm down. They're back together again. O'Rourke's bailing out. A lot of people, what in the world is going on here? Had some contact. Somebody just said they're damaged. I don't know what's going on here. There must have been contact up front here somewhere. Just now. Is there a full moon tonight? Somebody check. And if you're a man of famous quotes and you're one who likes to use quotes from like movies or from famous people and stuff, I'll just put this out there. Somebody just quoted Vince Lombardi. And if you remember his one line he's famous for, it just kind of says, "What the hell is going on out here?" That just got said over the air. Not over the air, but over the over somebody's headset. All right, so Jose Gonzalez leads there. You see Daniel Falkingham there inside lane with Pedro Mojica. A couple of team name guys over there battling it out right now. John Mustin Jr., Anthony Calantoni's in there with Richard Beasley, who's a former SuperSpeedway champion in the series. John Higman Jr., and honestly, one of my favorite paint schemes I've seen yet in this league. The Mark Martin Winn-Dixie throwback. Chad Coleman, look at the damage on that rear already of that 38 car. Just saw that out of the corner of my eyes. Ed Burrell in that 21, that's a Dairy Queen special. We rhyme with him. Look at that damage on the 38 right there. Got the iRacers Lounge car there, the 23 next to him. That's Tom Dreiling. There's the 13, David Comstock, who started in the back. Speed's up near 190 miles an hour right now. As they're starting to shape up 3 wide. Again, Eric Arnold leading that top side. Gonzalez almost on a block. Now they're 4 wide. This is way too early. Something is in the water in Talladega right now. Now, Eric Arnold, the one line I can say I can defend him with right here is this. He is unfortunately 12th out of 12 right now in the playoffs. So the only way he can get in is win. So he's doing everything he can to get to the front. The only downfall to that is this early in the race, you could lose it a lot quicker than winning it. So he is not afraid to make moves. He's taking that Dale Jr. strategy. It's one of those, if you can make the move, make it. Oh, and the 60 got loose down there in the bottom. I almost can't take my eyes away right now. I'm like watching the pack, but at the same time, I'm trying to watch telemetry to see like where the separation is and everything like that. Just checking on some of the other playoff drivers. Look back here. There's Josh Adams. He's running my Danhausen paint again. Awesome. Tommy Ryan back here in the 99 car. Jimmy Coleman back here in 26. Some of these playoff drivers were like, nope, I ain't having a part of that. But you look at people like Mojica right now, Richard Beasley, Chad Coleman, Callan Tony. These guys are playing with fire up here right now. Callan Tony's gotten the 39 out to the front. For a second there, you see Hickman making a move to the middle line. Jose Gonzalez leading that top side. Like, I am nervous for these guys right now. And I'm not even driving. I'm just sitting here. And they got Brian Wortman. They're coming up on. Wortman said, I'm just going to go to the apron and let y'all by. And one other car jumping out of line there. Was that Mojica? Nope, it was Josh Parker. Somehow we're 14 laps in and we're still green. I want to remind you that the Ford Entertainment Group specializes in sim racing and sim flight gaming machines with over 3,500 PCs built for sim racers and sim flight pilots. All FEG PCs come with front to back warranty on every part, as well as free labor. Everything is covered PC. As Gonzalez leads that lap with help from Comstock there up the middle. 100% fuel, so this could easily be a one-stop race. On board with Pedro Mojica, the driver that has won so far all but 2 of the playoff races. It looks like to a point everybody is settled down. I'm hesitant to even say that. But I'm seeing a single file line starting to kind of form at the bottom. Only got about 6 or 7 cars topside now. I think everybody is finally maybe taking a drafting relaxer or something for a second here. So far this season, we have had 4 different winners all season. Yes, it's been dominant. with the 58 and the 39. Falkingham, of course, has won 12 races. Mojica's won his share, I believe 6. I forget the number off the top of my head. You know, obviously, you've had Josh Parker get the win at Phoenix. And after that, the rest of your winners, and let me back that up, we've had 5 winners. The rest of the winners have come on Superspeedways. Of course, E.J. O'Rourke winning at Daytona. Brian Macklin winning at the second Daytona race. Oh, and here we go. One car loose. Kevin DeBrown. It's Higlin as they go spinning. And that's going to bring the caution as everybody scatters. One car dryling on his lid. Mojica's in it. Pedro Mojica, the points leader. And that front end is destroyed. Championship implications right here at Talladega on lap 18. Oh my gosh, here we go with the drama. Let's see if I can find where this wreck started. I looked up and saw Kevin Brown going sideways. All right, 60 starts blinking. 13 moves up the track, and oh, big netcode turn. Down into the 2, so Mike Kelly gets a piece of it. Yeah, the 60 just starts blinking out. I see Josh Adams spins himself out to stay out of it. Watching Mojica here, so yeah, he gets hit by, I mean, the car's blinking through and bam, into the inside wall with a direct shot to the nose. Oh, the engine damage could be crucial here. Could you imagine if we go to the round of 6 and the 2 dominant drivers don't get in? I mean, already one's out with Daniel Falkingham being eliminated after the first round. If you're Mojica, you're probably fuming right now at this. All right, so we did have pit stops happen. And Gonzalez is going to win the race on pit road with Falkingham, Woods, Calantoni, and Eric Arnold. So I want to go back. I want to keep showing this here, and I'm going to slow it down. I'm trying to find... Let's go to, let's see, how about Josh Adams here? And let's go on board, because this just gets really weird and interesting with the car blinking there, the 60. Let's go way up there in the top left of the windshield. That's where it starts. Oh, Adams gets into the back of Jatina. And the reason why I bring Josh Adams into this is he, of course, is the leader in the laps so far for the wheel. The CSL Direct Drive wheel that Ford Entertainment Group is given away by 2 right now over Chad Coleman. And as I look, Adams is still on track. I don't see much damage on that nose. I see a little bit. Unfortunately, it looks like Danhausen took a punch to the nose. So we've got some drama here. We're going to have to keep track of it. Mojica's still on pit road right now as he comes off pit road. He has lost a lap. Nope, he's still on the lead lap. As they're going to come to 1 to go this time by. As Daniel comes to pit road, Falkingham, these guys coming in to top off. With 52 to go, that's going to be too many laps, so they won't be able to go the distance. But at least when they come back to pit road, they should be able to have a shorter pit stop with a short fill here. So 1 to go before we go green. Oh my. I'm over here scratching my head right now at the way the points are going to look right now. So, just speaking hypothetically right now, of course, this whole, as they stand when it comes to point standings, is kind of fluky, so to say, because, yes, so many things can happen between lap 21 and 72. But I'm going to put it out there because this is where we're at right now. With the incident with Pedro Mojica, he just moved up to 30th. We have Anthony Calantoni, Richard Beasley, we have Chad Coleman, we have Bob Gillenwater, Tyler Dalton, Chuck Sweeting, top 13 right now. I'm looking for Eric Arnold on my telemetry, and I see Eric is in the 4th position. Eric Arnold and Tommy Ryan were out of the playoffs by like 50 points. So, as of right now, I'm going to bring up the point standings again from just a second, from earlier in the broadcast. See, well, he had a 23-point lead over Josh Adams. Josh Adams is nowhere clear of the playoffs right now. So, the top 2 were just involved in that wreck. So, basically, the whole entire round of 12 just got stuck into a Yahtzee can and shaken up. If you ask me now what's going to happen, I have no clue. I don't. Sit back and enjoy these last 51 laps because we could see the 2 winningest drivers this season in this series not even make the final 6. Very Kevin Harvick-like. All right, pace car is in. 21 laps in. I'm going to take a deep breath here for a second. All right, and we're going to go wide open and let you guys enjoy. Turn the speakers up. I honestly thought that after that wreck, the field would calm down a little bit. Nope. They picked up right where they've left off so far. 2 and 3 wide. Doy Woods now leading this race. Richard Beasley topside with Chad Coleman going to the front. Jose Gonzalez. We're still 11 laps from halfway. That's when the bonus points are given away. I have to honestly say, if I'm in this race right now and I'm in the playoffs, I don't care about those bonus points right now because a wrecked race car ain't going to get you there. Yeah, I think Jatina just bailed out. He saw enough. I think a few others have just said, I've seen enough of this. I mean, they're 3 deep. What, 6 rows deep? And somebody's back there pushing Mojica. I can see the noseless one, I guess, if we're going to call him that right now. Is in the 18th position. There he is. He's getting pushed by Comstock right now. This is the one thing he's going to be able to do is just sit in the pack. He's not going to be able to lead it. That car's probably down on speed a ton right now, but with somebody pushing him, he'll be able to stay up there. Kevin D. Brown getting pushed there by Falkingham. Topside there as Gonzalez continues to lead with Bob Gillenwater there inside lane in the 4. Richard Beasley there in the 10. The 28, Adoy Woods, as I mentioned. Calantoni there behind him. Yeah, Josh Parker there in the 81. John Mustian up there. He's been pushing Eric Arnold the whole entire time up there on the top side. John, I'm assuming, is mantra for the whole entire race is going to be just to try to get Eric into the round of 6. As Gerald Livingston having some blinking issues now. Tyler Dalton going to jump to the top side, throw a little bit of a block to Eric, but also get a push here as he's going to try to get to the front. So Gerald's going to bail out. Classy move on his part, as somebody did report that he was blinking and stuff, so he's doing whatever he has to do to try to fix that issue. Most leagues or most races, what they'll do is if somebody starts blinking, usually they'll ask him to go to the back, or let the driver will decide if he wants to go to the back or whatever, and then normally that's what they'll do and try to get their stuff fixed. Now, Brian Wortman did get the wave around, by the way. He is back on the lead lap, and there he is. The Racing with Jesus, number 74. Hanging out in typical Brian Wortman position. Wortman, a veteran to sim racing. He's been on for almost 30 years. He's been sim racing, not on iRacing, but just obviously different games and platforms and stuff. And got a very interesting way of looking at things, and I don't criticize, don't judge or anything off it. It's a unique way, but Brian obviously in his past has raced or worked with some NASCAR teams that were more of the go or go home or start and park type of realm. And Brian kind of treats his car like that in this series when he's out there racing. His goal is to come home with that car in one piece, and don't matter where he's finishing. Hence why he's kind of riding where he is right now. If it comes home 10th, it comes home 10th. That's his, he's having fun doing that, and credit to him. And I congratulate him on all those years of sim racing. I mean, I've been racing as long as I can remember, but that's definitely cool. As Jose Gonzalez continues to lead Kevin DeBrown there in second in the middle lane. Top side, here comes Jimmy Coleman with a push. Tyler Dalton pushing him, also to 31 of Arnold, and there's Jatina up there, top side. 7 laps to go before we hit the halfway point. Only 10 of them as Daniel and Jose hit each other. Oh my God, there's more contact! And there goes the 81 into Gillenwater. Wortman and Mojica's in it again. Holyfield, Gillenwater, more playoff drivers. Looks like those are the only 2 playoff. Oh, no, the 40's not in. Sorry. This all started. Looks like just some misjudgment from the 39 when he saw his partner he was pushing go to the bottom. He went with him, and sometimes it's easy to do. You're so focused that you don't think, hey, there's a car below you still, even though your partner's cleared or whatever. But that breaks out right here. You see Gonzalez ends up saving. He gets up into Parker, who gets up into Jimmy Coleman. And then Gillenwater ends up getting tagged, and then Mojica gets turned. T-boned by the 40. Ron Holyfield, and trying to see who that green car is up there, got some contact. Well, obviously the question's going to be now, how much damage does the 58 have, and then how much damage does the 4 have? That 4 got hit hard in the right front. That 22 is being driven by Andrew Teft, being a part of that wreck also. Let's go on board with Pedro here, and as leaders are going to come to pit road, it looks like here. So we'll cover pit stops here in a second. There's where the mistake happens. Oh, Calantoni got a piece of it. Here we go. Pit stops, race off. Going to go to Mike Kelly. Kevin DeBrown, Tyler Dalton, Eric Arnold, Chad Coleman. This race is interesting so far. It's been wild. It's what happens when you have a playoff race at Talladega to finish out a round. You see it in the Cup Series. You see it here. And it's definitely been wild so far here. Let's I'm going to step away for a quick second to take a quick break here. I'm going to kind of round myself back up here. It's been a wild first half of this race. We'll come back. We should get the green with 1 lap to go before halfway. So this ought to really get interesting. As we'll come back, you're watching the FEG Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
All right. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway, virtually here on iRacing, in what has been some of the wildest racing I have seen at this track in a long time. And I say that from the realm of 2 and 3 wide racing, with playoff chances on the line for these drivers. And there's definitely not been any holding back, safe to say, so far in this race. As we're under our second caution, we're getting 1 to go right now. So we're going to have a hypothetical, it's a big word, green-white checker to the end of what would be the halfway point, which gives bonus points away. Now, there will not be a caution at that point unless they wreck, obviously. But the top 10 will get bonus points here. And as you look, Jimmy Coleman leads this race. He stayed out. He's got a little bit of left front damage on that car. Otherwise, he's looking good to go. Jose Gonzalez is second. You see playoff driver Mike Kelly. You see the P's next to their names. Those are playoff drivers. Is third. Kevin DeBrown fourth. Tyler Dalton, Eric Arnold, Richard Beasley, Chad Coleman, Doy Woods, and John Mustin Jr. are your top 10. And as you see, there are plenty of playoff drivers up there at the top. And what has happened so far with Pedro Mojica has been involved in both wrecks. So that is the points leader. He had a 23-point lead entering this race and has been involved in both accidents so far. And more than likely, unless something really weird happens here in the next 2 laps, safe to say that that 58 will not get bonus points. So this is a chance for a lot of these playoff drivers, especially those on that border and that cusp of the 6 position, to get bonus points here. And potentially gain 10, not only on Pedro, but obviously Josh Adams, who's had issues. And the reason why I say that about those specific 2 people is because technically they're not out of being eliminated from the round of 6, which starts next week. So where I'm going with this in the end is put your seatbelt on, because we're about to be on for a wild ride. Because who knows when we're about to potentially watch the top 2 drivers. One's already been eliminated in the first round, and the second one could be eliminated tonight, not make the round of 6 with a combined 18 wins this season. It could happen. Green flag back out as Jimmy Coleman leads them. We got 2 laps before halfway. Not the best of restarts for the 54. The 26 getting a push topside. Brian Wortman serving a black flag penalty for pitting under a closed pit. Beasley jumping down the line, topside with Doy Woods, 3 wide. Eric Arnold pushing Kevin DeBrown up the middle here. Chad Coleman going to shoot up the middle with Tommy Ryan. Those are playoff drivers. Josh Adams jumping topside there. He's going to do everything he can to get bonus points. Next time by, we will give away bonus points. Down the back straightaway, Jose Gonzalez pushed to the front. I'm going to throw the battle box up here so we can try to see who gets to the top 10 here. As Kevin DeBrown gets to the front. As they cross the line, it is Eric Arnold, the 12th place driver in points, gets the 10 bonus. Holy cow. This race has totally been flipped upside down. As all of a sudden everybody scatters like the caution's out or something. And I think it's more everybody just trying to find a place in line now after that wild finish to the halfway point. I mean, who knows? Especially, after what has happened so far in the first half of this race, you would guess that the driver that was 12th in points would be the one that gets the bonus points, right? Now, of course, the top 10 at that point got from 10 down to 1 bonus point-wise. So, obviously, everybody who got in the top 10 got some bonus points after it was all said and done there. So, look at everybody go single file all of a sudden. We're like, we're good. Let's relax now. And Kevin DeBrown up against the outside wall. We got a wreck. Jeff Ryan involved. Kevin DeBrown looks like mainly the car involved in this. And the third caution comes out right at lap number 38. Let's see how this all started. Everybody was just kind of separating out. I was being quiet there for just a quick second, just kind of letting everything settle down. Okay, Kevin DeBrown gets turned. Oh, and then the 34 gets punted. Looks like Falkingham got into him. The 21 of Burrell gets in it. So this is going to be, easy. 3 cars involved. Unfortunately for the 93 of Kevin DeBrown, he's going to be out of this race. Oh, Ed just T-bones Kevin. Bob Gillenwater sneaking through. Let's see if we can find where Kevin got the bump draft here. Maybe Beasley? And he's pushing him. He gets. Oh, you know what happens? The old classic super speedway move here. Kevin was catching the 38 so quickly he had to check up, and when he checked up, it turned him from Beasley being on the back of him. Let's go on board. You'll be able to hear this. Oh, Coleman goes up to be defensive, and oh wow. That's just super speedway racing. You can't blame anybody. That's unfortunate. Most of the cars come to pit road, some staying out. A lot of people are going to get damage fixed or take tires and fuel here and should be able to get them easily to the finish of this race now. I'm going to take an opportunity to talk to somebody here. And I don't know who I want to talk to here. This has been wild. Let's, I know who I'm not going to talk to, and that's going to be the Pedro car, because he's probably not in a good mood right now. You know what? This is the perfect guy to talk to. Let's bring Joey up here and talk to him for a second. Joey, you got a copy, buddy?
What's up?
All right. So you're the owner of this league. That's a whole separate thing to this, but I throw that out there to say, what have we been watching tonight going on here?
I have no idea. It's crazy. But I mean, these guys are so good. They can run 3 and 4 wide. So I don't know.
I mean, obviously you're not a playoff contender here, so I can understand going for, racing, trying to get the win of this race. But these playoff drivers, it seems like, we've already watched Pedro now involved in 2 different wrecks, and we just watched this wreck happen. It's like, it almost seems like the playoff drivers are almost putting themselves in bad spots.
Yeah, they've never watched Dale Jarrett do this race here at Talladega. I I've been lobbying with a lot of my teammates to get to the back, and they just, I don't know, they think they're going to give out points on lap 10 and 12 and everything else. So, anyways, that couple of them's had some problems, and I hate that for them, but I think they're going to be okay when it's all said and done. We're going to be here to help push them, to get them, hopefully get in the next round.
Question is, can the 14 get into victory lane?
I mean, that's not really, I can win here, right, at this
Right.
league. Within Sim 500, yes, but obviously our goal is to help our guys advance, and, that's the main thing.
All right, my man. Well, hey, good job. Good seeing you out there, and keep up the good work, and maybe, who knows? You never know what can happen here.
I'm looking for win number 10. I'd sure like to get it tonight.
That'd be nice, man. Well, good luck to you, buddy. You
Thanks.
too. And that is, he's the league owner, but he's also driving that 14 car out there. Joey Jatine, I think that was a pretty good answer on his part. So I totally understand. I mean, these drivers have the ability to run up front and do the 3 and 4 wide racing. I'm just one that's like, I don't know if I'd be doing it that early. That's just my opinion. Oh, what do I know? I'm a broadcaster that barely even has a over 2,000 iRating. So, anyways. And we should go green this time by 31 laps to go. So as I mentioned, next week is the round of 12. And for those curious where that round will start, it will continue pretty much the streak of speedways we've had. Of course, we were at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. We were at Michigan last week, Talladega this week. And then from there, we actually will go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway next week. And then it's Homestead and then Phoenix. Of course, to finish out the round of 6. And of course, the most points after those 3 races will be the champion of the FEG Xfinity Series. But first, we got to get through these 30 laps of Talladega and figure out who is going to be in. Right now, cars behind the wall. There's only 4 of them, believe it or not, right now. Ed Burrell, Kevin Brown, Tom Dreiling, and John Higman Jr. The only 4 cars behind the wall, and they are the only 4 cars not on the lead lap. So everybody on the track is on the lead lap as we get ready to come to 30 laps to go. Chad Coleman, the Georgia driver, leading this race. Richard Beasley, Mike Kelly, Eric Arnold, who is trying to hit a home run shot, basically. The shot heard round the world if he could find a way into the playoffs tonight. But still plenty of racing to go here. 38 laps around Talladega is 100 miles. So we still have nearly 75 miles to go in this race. As pace car pulls in, Coleman enters that Geico restart zone, and here we go, back to green. Inside line forming up real quick and hanging Richard Beasley out to dry a little bit there. He's going to have to fall all the way back to Tyler Dalton. Arnold, John Mustian Jr. inside lane there with Doy Woods and Gerald Livingston also bringing up that inside line. Fuel mileage out the window. Don't have to worry about that anymore. It is straight to the finish now as they go 3 wide. Chad Coleman in the sucker hole as Mike Kelly jumps to the bottom. Eric Arnold topside trying to lead. Here comes that middle. Chad Coleman leading that middle with David Comstock and Anthony Calantoni there. Eric Arnold, man, where he's pretty much been all night, up there on the top side with Mustian. Tyler Dalton up there with him. Jatina just swapped lanes, went to the bottom. Now you heard Jatina mention, he told his guys, hey, why don't you come to the back? Just hang out and ride. Josh Parker there, bottom side. You see, who else has joined this pack now? Randy Yoakum coming up the middle there in that 8. And Tommy Ryan back there behind Dalton. Unacceptable Racing Group. That tri-oval is tricky. Down that bottom lane, you can get a little bit loose because it's actually less banked than the middle and top side of the tri-oval. How weird that sounds. But now we're 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. 5 rows deep, I think. Doug Sigmund back here in the 04, having a great run. Staying right there on the lead lap. As they say in this kind of racing, if you're on the lead lap, you can win it. Chuck Sweeting in at 57. I could easily be confused. I'm watching the colors of that car. It looks like it's got tape all over it. That's pretty unique if that's what he purposely did. As Arnold pushes Daniel Falkingham out to the front. Mike Kelly there inside line with Beasley and Parker. I want to say this is like the calmest they've been all day. But it doesn't look that calming, does it? All this at about 190 to 195 miles an hour. Around this 2.66 mile speedway that Bill France built back in the 1960s. Said he wanted to build the world's fastest speedway. Of course, at that time, it was Indianapolis. And the first race here back in 1969, the pole speed at Talladega was some 30 miles an hour faster than the Indy 500 pole speed. The problem is there was an issue, and Firestone had tires in that race, and they decided to withdraw them. And because of that, drivers decided to pull out. And they had to bring in ARCA teams and other types of sportsman teams to come race in that cup race at Talladega that day. And actually, believe it or not, one of the drivers that signed up and ran in that special event, Richard Childress. It was the beginning of Richard Childress Racing that day in that race. Chad Coleman leads there in the middle, and here comes Falkingham with help from Kelly on the bottom side. Eric Arnold continues to be committed to that top side with John Mustian Jr., who has been stuck to that 31 rear end the whole entire race. They are doing everything possible to help each other get in, or at least Mustian trying to help Arnold get into that round of 6. With Josh Parker, you see out back what's going on there. You see the run coming from Dalton, and Gonzalez. You see there's Joey Datina. You see all the damaged cars in here. Two laps to go. Hopefully all green flag laps here. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. By the way, if you're enjoying the broadcast, you can, of course, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, or if you're on Facebook watching, or if you're over in the Sim 500 Facebook page watching, hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing here on the Captain Esports Network tonight. I want to go back here to the 18th position right now, where you see Tommy Ryan is literally riding. Tommy is one of those drivers that needs that miracle to happen tonight to get into the round of 6. He has been involved in accidents in the first two races, so it's pretty much he win and get as many points as possible. And Tommy definitely has a way of doing it. I was talking about that earlier series that unfortunately with the passing of Todd Kirkwood, and of course, as I said earlier, thoughts and prayers to that family. Tommy ran in that league also, and he has won SuperSpeedway races in that league. So I know he's got the ability to get up there and win this thing. So do not rule out this 99 car. Holman continuing to lead there in the middle lane. Something I don't normally say. Part of me just wants to sit back and just watch as this keeps going on. It's been wild racing throughout this 52 laps that they have completed here this time by. You know, these guys are a bunch of talented racers in this league. That's why I don't criticize them too much for the racing they're doing up here. I just necessarily can't say I agree with it. It's been pretty wild, but hey, these guys, like I said, know what they're doing, and they're racing hard, and they're doing what they got to do to get to that playoff spot. As the lap car gets out of the way, their class move on his part. But then again, I'm the boring one that sits in the back most of the race and just kind of hangs out until I end up in a wreck. Or cause it. So it looks like we got two lanes pretty much doing the work now as Mustian and Arnold start to fall back. I did see one car jump out. Looks like Parker going to go back up there and help these two out. We got this pack of about 15 or 16 cars. And then you got this whole second pack of cars that are just hanging out, logging laps. Pedro Mojica is in there. There's Pedro back in the 23rd position right now. And he's pretty much in about the spot you could be in right now because, I mean, as long as you have somebody pushing you and somebody in front of you, you can just kind of stay in the draft and ride at that speed. If you get out in any kind of air with a missing front end, you're going to feel a parachute come out pretty quickly. Unfortunately for Pedro, there's really not much he can do right now other than just ride and hope for the best finish he can possibly get so that he is on to the final round of this championship race. Bob Gillenwater hanging out there bottom side. He was involved in an accident earlier, but he continues to fight. Right now, can't say I'm honestly seeing the aggressive pushing that I was seeing earlier. I think these guys are just trying to get some laps logged and get to the finish before we go to Las Vegas next week and start that round of 6 out in Sin City. So they continue to be 3 wide, pretty much 5 rows deep. They've been like that for the last 10, 15 laps now. Again, fuel, don't even have to worry about that. The rest of the way, they're good to go. The question is, can these guys continue the way they're going and get to the finish of this race? And as we get closer to the finish, you got to wonder, is that storm brewing that could be the big wreck that could potentially end the hopes of the playoffs for some of these drivers that are right on the border? Again, you've got multiple drivers right there from 3rd through 6th, 3rd through 7th, that are less than 10 points apart from each other. And remember, in this series, every position's a point. Of course, the one way you can prevent yourself from falling out of the round of 12 is by going and win the race, because then you get max points. The problem is when you have 20-something cars, you got 29 cars to be exact, on the lead lap, and here in about 14 laps, all of them are going to be trying to get to the front. There's not room for 29 cars up front at one time, so something's got to give. We are noticing a little bit of a separation here as Jeff Ryan leads his 3rd pack of cars, and all 3 of them are teammates along with Brian Wortman here. So these guys from Unacceptable Racing fortunately might need to get up there and try to push and try to get back to that pack. I think the general rule is 1.5 seconds. If you can get to within a second and a half of the pack in front of you, you should be able to catch the draft. Oh, and they're starting to really get going here. Talladega County's under a warning right now. Let's just put it like that. Not literally. I even get nervous when I'm back there, like, looking at Jeff Ryan and those guys, and I see my timing and scoring going nuts with people moving positions. Like, I'm immediately like, uh-oh, they're wrecking. Like, I'm, like, just ready to see it or something, because it's just, not that I want it to happen or anything like that, but it's the inevitable. Jimmy Coleman blinking out there, had to jump to the bottom out of the line. Jose Gonzalez, top side. Started outside pole, is looking to lead this race. 11 laps to go. And again, the old cliche, if you're in it, you can win it. And right now we still have 29 cars on the lead lap. And unfortunately, the four at the back are really losing his pack now. Yoakum, Jeff Ryan, Tommy Ryan, Brian Wortman, those guys have lost his pack. They're going to need a miracle now, unfortunately, for Tommy to potentially get into the final round and battle for a championship. So looks like now it's 25 cars in this pack, and the last car in that line is this 22 car back here of Andrew Teft. And you see also back here Pedro Mojica, who was the points leader entering this race. He's won both, or one of the two races in this second round. And he's actually going to try to make some moves here with E.J. O'Rourke pushing him. I just don't know if the car has the power with the air. Maybe I'm wrong, because he's going to go around Chuck Sweeting. Here he comes on Kevin England. I'm amazed that car can even stay up there in clean air. I mean, a car with no damage like that gets pushed like this. I mean, usually they're flying right up there to the pack and going. That just tells you, obviously, Pedro's car is not. Oh, and here we go. Mike Kelly heading for the infield. And hits the inside wall hard. No caution. He's coming back up the track. That should... Here in a second. And there's the caution. I was going to say, as soon as those cars get near, it was going to bring the caution out, and it does. Fourth caution, and this is going to change this race. Mike Kelly, unfortunately, going to be eliminated from the playoffs after that accident. Oh, he gets help from Beasley. Over on his lid and spins it back onto the track here. And once he goes to the pits, that's when that caution would come out. Tough break for the two. You hate to see it for a driver that's run pretty well all season, stayed up there in the battle, and there's the bump draft gone wrong. Solo car spin here. Lap number 64 brings us under caution. With 8 laps to go, and I'm pretty sure that the majority of the people up front are going to stay out here and take the track position. Looks like a couple cars coming to pit road. All right, I'm going to take a quick second here. We're going to step away and get you to the final, well, right now 7 laps to go in this race, but we do have a couple green-white checkers if needed. But we will get you to the end of this race here at Talladega Superspeedway, the Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
This is the world's premier online racing simulation. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat from your home computer with the most realistic online motorsports experience you'll find anywhere. Race virtually in the world's biggest events with officially licensed series, cars, and tracks. From the high banks of Daytona to the blistering speeds of Indianapolis, the dirt of Eldora to the world's most legendary road courses. It's all here, and with more than 180,000 people just like you already driving, you'll always have someone to race. Ready to get behind the wheel? Sign up at iRacing.com to get started.
All right, back we are. Virtual Talladega Superspeedway here on iRacing, getting ready for the last 5 laps of this race. I did check. We have 2 green-white checkers, if needed. I think fuel-wise, they're looking pretty good. Let me throw up the old pit strategy board here real quick. And it looks like everybody, for the most part, pitted at either lap 40 or lap 32. If they pitted at lap 32, then if they get past the green-white checker mark, they might be in trouble. Those who pitted at lap 40 are probably okay to the finish of this race no matter what. So that's going to be very interesting to see what transpires here in just a few moments. They're going to be coming to Winter Green this time by. So as you see, we only have 3 playoff drivers now in the top 10. Checking back here on the points leader entering this race, Pedro Mojica, involved in 2 of the 4 wrecks we've seen now in this race. He sits 16th. He is just trying to hold on to the draft. I will say now that more cars have fallen out and Mike Kelly's exit of the race, that his chances are more than likely really good that he'll make it to the final 6, even though everything has gone wrong for him tonight in this race. Matter of fact, as we come to the green, let me show the points as we entered the race again tonight. This is what it looked like. Again, Mojica, a big lead with his 5 wins, of course, and not to mention the one he had at Indianapolis earlier just a couple weeks ago. Josh Adams was okay, and he sits in 16th right now. And you see Bob Gillenwater, Jimmy Coleman, Chad Coleman, Chuck Sweeting, Tyler Dalton, all those guys on top of another. Points-wise, Mike Kelly was down in 9th, so he's already pretty much been eliminated, unfortunately. But still, 5 other drivers are likely going home. Tommy Ryan saved by that caution now. His chances are more than likely also slim to none. He's going to make it, but at least he's got a shot to continue to try. So a lot of things potentially about to happen here in these last 5 laps. I want to remind you again, the Ford Entertainment Group specializes in sim racing and sim flight gaming machines with over 3,500 PCs built. For sim racers and sim flight pilots, all FEG PCs come with a front-to-back warranty on every part, as well as free labor. Everything is covered PC. Josh Adams also leading that battle for the Fanatec CSL Direct Drive wheel for completing the most laps this season. All right, Chad Coleman, David Comstock, going to bring him to the green flag as we'll get 5 laps to go as we settle who makes the final round of 6 and who does not. Here we go. Oh, by the way, remember the first 63, 64 laps of the race, how wild it was? Yeah, it's about to intensify big time. Who's going to make the first move? My guess is going to be Eric Arnold. Muschie'n gets that push from Falkingham. Nope, Eric stays in line. Doy Woods jumps up top. Here comes Beasley with him. Chad Coleman with help with Jose Gonzalez there at the bottom, and also the 81 of Josh Parker. Gonzalez slides up the track a little bit there. Across the line, I think Comstock led that lap barely. Here they go, starting to form up. Falkingham to the top. If I'm Eric Arnold, I'm jumping up there with him. If I'm any of those drivers on the top side. Arnold goes up there with him. Contact, and there they go. Calatoni into the wall. This is the big one. Actually, I mean, not as big. Could have been worse. But Calatoni in the wall. That right there is another playoff driver. Oh, I thought that was going to be huge. Daniel Falkingham involved. I'm seeing Tyler Dalton potentially with some damage. Let me find the accident here in the highlights, and I will show it to you here. Let's see what happens. It's going to put us into a green, white checker finish. Arnold makes that move late. Contact into Mustian. Tyler Dalton does get damaged. Bob Gillenwater gets damage. Oh my gosh, there's 3, 4, 5 playoff drivers involved in that wreck right there. This ended up a lot bigger than I thought. So this is going to start. Arnold was waiting. He was trying to time the move, the jump to the top side. He was kind of wishy-washy, it looks like, about it. Finally, he makes the move, but Daniel's got such a big run off the top. Daniel has to make an evasive move to the top there. He's going to hook into the right rear. Or actually, it looks like maybe gets tagged by Doy. That gets into Mustian, who hits Dalton. Calatoni gets turned by Arnold. Gillenwater gets into it. Jimmy Coleman gets some damage. Looks like Josh Adams, maybe some slight damage. I am counting 6 playoff drivers in that wreck. Let's go on board with Tyler Dalton. Let's go to Bob Gillenwater, another playoff driver involved. So as I'm seeing this right now, 3 of the playoff drivers still on pit road. Dalton, Gillenwater, and Eric Arnold are right now on pit road. And Chad Coleman down on the apron because we're going to hit our first green-white checker right now. I know normally during broadcast I promote what's going on in the other series. I'm going to save that for after the race right now. It's just, I'm focused on this one right now. So with that said, let's take a look here. I'm going to bring the points up again because I got to continue to just pound this one in. Let's see. So Tyler Dalton was under right now by 3. Bob Gillenwater was in by 5. Right now, it's not looking good for Dalton. Bob Gillenwater is in 25th right now. And depending on where these others finish, he might be outside looking in. Chuck Sweeting, 13th position. He might be in now, officially. Chad Coleman, Jimmy Coleman, all looking pretty good right now if nothing else happens. Beasley, I mean, there's a chance he sneaks his way in here. It's just, there's just so much that's happened. That's the only thing I could say to this right now. It's to the point where I'm going to need more than my fingers and toes to count. As we come down the back straightaway here. So looking at the cars of Gillenwater, Arnold, and Dalton, they have come back on the track and they are still on the lead lap. There's the Gillenwater car. That thing is junk. Eric Arnold is okay. Tyler Dalton, that car looks like junk. It's just a matter of trying to get to the finish. Stay on the lead lap as much as you can is all you can do in this spot right now. And if more wrecks happen, then who knows? Pedro Mojica sits somehow in the 11th position right now. He's the 6th car on the inside lane there with no front end. This is green white checker number 1. Inside line, very unorganized as Coleman and Gonzalez got decent restarts. Parker almost jumped topside on Comstock. That did not help him. All of a sudden, here comes E.J. O'Rourke, the 41 car, the Daytona winner, into the picture here. Seven cars broken away here. Joey Jatina trying to get some help from Chuck Sweeting back there. Doy Woods and others. Here comes. Is that the 99 back there I saw coming through? Up top there, the 8 of Yoakum as they come to the white flag. They're going to see it. Final lap. A tandem on the top side. It's coming with Yoakum and Tommy Ryan. Josh Parker jumps to the top side to try to get some help there. Otherwise, it is 2 versus 2. Parker back to the bottom here as Coleman gets the advantage. Adams is clear. Jumps top side. Going to be a drag race as they come to the checkered flag. Does Gonzalez make a move? He does not. Contact! And I believe Josh Adams has won. Forgive me as I just caused myself to choke. Josh Adams takes Danhausen to victory lane with help from Jose Gonzalez in that late move. Chad Coleman ends up spinning into 7th position. Forgive me. I think I just threw my voice out. Anyways. So for Adams, the driver that has run the most laps this season, well, that's one way to keep that streak going, is just win the darn race. And he's done it. And Adams, oh, well, that's never good. Puts it in the wall, Hausen. So Jose Gonzalez ends up second. EJ O'Rourke third as we take a look. Actually, I'm going to take it off the board to watch the burnouts here for a second. Let's go back and watch this race to the finish. That was a wild one and gives me an opportunity to catch my voice back. That was well, as I call it, and all of a sudden I feel that just having a cough and start choking. But there's the move right there. Adams jumps out of line. O'Rourke tries to get to Chad to push him. Oh, and then they just door bang each other. And there's Adams crossing the line. Tommy upside down across. Well, Adams wins it by 23/100ths of a second over Jose Gonzalez. EJ O'Rourke ends up third. David Comstock and Randy Yoakum a top five. Unofficially, Tommy Ryan is sixth, and unfortunately, probably still not going to make the final round. I could be wrong, though, because I don't see any other playoff drivers. As we look at Beasley, seventh. Chad Coleman's a playoff driver. He's eighth. Josh Parker, ninth. Chuck Sweeting is a playoff driver in 10th. Some reason the P's don't show up for some of these guys. Andrew Teft gets 11th. Jeff Ryan, 12th. Gerald Livingston, 13th. Jimmy Coleman, a playoff driver, 14th. Doug Sigmund, Kevin England, Brian Wortman, and Doy Woods finishes in the 18th position. 19th goes to John Mustin Jr. Pedro Mojica ends up 20th and is safe into the round of 6. So that 20th pretty much assured him. He's in. Charles Woods, 21st. Eric Arnold, Joey Jatina, Anthony Calantoni, 24th. Bob Gillenwater, Tyler Dalton, Ron Holyfield, Garrett Austin finishes 28th. And the rest of the field, 29th, Daniel Falkingham, 30th, Mike Kelly, Ed Burrell, 31st, Kevin DeBrown, 32nd, John Higman Jr., 33rd, and Tom Dreiling, 34th. Now, I could sit here and try to figure out who's going to be in and who's not. Let me throw the points up here again. It's going to be probably easier for me to just wait for the points to be posted, but I would have to say Josh Adams obviously is in. Pedro Mojica's in. Jimmy Coleman's in. Chad Coleman's in. Chuck Sweeting is in. And you know what? I think Bob Gillenwater is going to end up the sixth person. Just by my math here. Because there were issues for Dalton, issues for... And Gillenwater finished ahead of Dalton. Calantoni had issues in the end, and he was too far back. Unless, let me see where Anthony finished in this race. Yep, 24th, right in front of Bob. So he didn't catch him. Kelly's out, Beasley out, Tommy too far back. So yeah, just off of my math right now, it's Mojica, Adams, Coleman, Sweeting, Gillenwater. Those six going for the championship. If my Florida math, that says enough right there, is right. Let's talk to our third place finisher in this race. And that is EJ O'Rourke, who is got a pretty good fetish here for super speedways, apparently. He looks pretty good out there in that personal comfort number 41. EJ, you definitely were trying to help out teammates and stuff tonight. I know, obviously, you were just doing your best out there, and it came to the point where you got to go for the win of this race and did everything you could, just fell up a little short there in the third position.
Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you what, this 41 personal comfort Chevrolet was fast today. It just, I took a little different approach today and got a couple laps let early and just dropped to the back of the road. And it was a little bit different, but, still kind of fun.
As we hear people chatting over there in the iRacing room. But, yeah, the racing, you know, I'm one that knows, obviously, this league's got a lot of talent, a lot of drivers that get out there and they can race. And we saw the earliness, the 3 and 4 wide racing, and I'm sitting there like, I think this might be a little too early to be doing this, but, you know, they were out there going to war. It just seemed like a wild race from the start.
Yeah, I mean, I give 99% of these people in this league the confidence to run 3 and 4 wide from lap 1 to 100. You know, it's just there's a couple guys up there that are scaring me a little bit, but, you know, I'm not in any points position for a championship or anything. I'm here for the win or crash, so, you know, wasn't trying to do anything stupid there, and just kind of bring it home and see what I can do.
And you did that, Ron, home in the third position here. So great job tonight And shout out to everybody like you, bud.
Yeah, and I thank you guys for broadcasting. I appreciate it, Chris, and everyone, Joey Katina, everyone here at Sim 500. And it's just the personal comfort team is fast, and we won Daytona to start off the year, and missed a lot of the mid season, so we didn't make the playoffs. So, but our thoughts are with Todd Kirkwood, who passed away yesterday, and just want to say, we're thinking about his family and his wife and everyone at over Sim 500. He ran here for a long time.
Absolutely, well said. And EJ, congratulations on your third, bud.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too. EJ O'Rourke finishing in the third position. And is Jose Gonzalez in here? I have never actually spoken to Jose. I do not see him in Discord, and I'll wait and see if he pops back in. But let's talk to the Winterhausen of this race. Mr. Adams comes to victory lane. The door opened for you there on that last lap as you got enough space pushing the 90, or not the 99, but the 38 out there in front, and allowed you to make the move to take the win in this race. Congratulations. And I think that's the safest way you could keep that battle for the wheel in line for you.
Oh yeah. Winhausen, like you said, gotta get that out of the way. I'm pretty sure I told you at the end of last broadcast that I was coming here to win that for you. So glad we did that. I thought I made the wrong move off of 2 going to the bottom. Like I thought they'd have momentum on the top, but I was able to push the 28, 26, whatever it was, and the 38 clear the top, and the second place guy took it. I went behind Chad, pushed him clear, and it all worked from there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you've got 2 top 3 finishes now since you've put that paint on there. So it might be some good cursing going on there or something like now in the field. But in all seriousness, though, this is, I know it's got to be a big win for you. Of course, being able to come back and keep that, not only the streak alive of you being there for the finish of races and still battling for that Ford Entertainment Group wheel, but also now you advance on to the second round, because there was a bit in that race where I'm like, could the top 2 really not make this final round?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about that because, like, I was in kind of a no-win situation where, like, I wanted to battle for the chance to advance in the championship, but also not get wrecked and lose those laps, so close to the end of the season. So, hung out in the back most of the race. I think I got involved in 2 of the wrecks, but it didn't damage us too bad, and we were able to still hang around and be there when it counted.
Yeah, you definitely did your part. Tier is actually, believe it or not, you end up the points leader at the end of this round, going into Vegas. Now, obviously, it's I think going to match back up together, but you actually beat out Pedro by 5 points in the not that it means, I guess, more of a morale type of thing, but I was just looking at the points as they're updated here. 5-point lead over Pedro as you went to Vegas, but that resets as you get there. So the momentum's there for you, man. Congratulations on the win, and shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we just a pretty good race. The Ford Entertainment Group, the broadcast here, just everybody that runs this thing and makes fun races.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Go celebrate, and we will see you next week in Vegas.
Yep, Danhausen will be back.
There you go. Good job, man.
Thank you.
You too. Josh Adams, the winner tonight. Going to victory lane, and I'm going to bring in... I got to bring in Bob. I'm going to bring Bob in here for a second because I don't know if he's seen the update yet, but I kind of did the math for you before doing the interviews, and I'm like, man, I think Bob's actually still going to make it into the final 6, and man, you did.
Yeah, I think we barely squeaked in, man. I think about 4 points there. Just I didn't think there was any hope, man. After there was that last damage I got, I knew it was over. But we got lucky.
That was some pretty wild stuff out there.
Yeah, everybody did a good job. 3 wide for a long time. I was a little concerned with some of the guys. Everybody, kind of minding their P's and Q's. But of course, the halfway points, I knew it was going to ramp up and towards the end, and of course that's kind of when things started falling apart. But yeah, man, just thank the league and thank everybody. It's just wow, happy to be in it, brother.
You survived. Nice job.
Survived.
Man.
That's it. Survived.
You survived. So you were the You were best of the wrecked, put it like that. So great job, man. Congratulations. And I just wanted to get a quick word. We'll let you go and take a deep breath and go to Vegas next week.
Hey, appreciate it, and big shout out to Beast TV. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Bob. Great job, buddy. Oh, man. I knew he'd be kind of relaxed, I guess, a little bit, or a deep breath taken. So what a race it was when it's all said and done. And the points did get updated. I won't be able to show them on the screen because I got certain settings all put up there. But yeah, it looks like it was a 4-point separation between Bob Gillenwater and Tyler Dalton. Richard Beasley got it down to 5 between him and Gillenwater. And then Cal and Tony and those guys were just too far back when it was all said and done. But what a wild race it was. Congratulations to Josh Adams on getting the win here this evening. It's actually his second win of the season, so we continue with only 5 winners so far on the campaign. So congratulations to Josh. He'll have some momentum now heading to Vegas coming up here next week. So, all right, I'm heading out. I'm going to go rest my voice now and make sure I didn't throw it or something. I got more broadcasts to do this week. So with that said, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Get some rest and get ready for another interesting week of work for all of us, right? And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!